For more content, subscribe to Patreon. She doesn't miss you, Kotik, at all. She is not lying on floor, crying, clutching her phone like tragic heroine. She is scrolling TikTok, eating something stupid, sending memes to her girlfriends, and maybe flirting with 3 other men in her DMs while you sit there thinking your silence is some powerful weapon. You think, if I stop texting, she will finally realize my value. No. Right now, your absence for her is like Wi-Fi dropping for 2 seconds. Annoying maybe, but life goes on. So listen, I will tell you why your absence doesn't bother her, and exactly what must change for her to actually feel when you are not there. You will not like everything I say, but it will be useful. I'm Russian. I don't do comfortable lies, I do sharp honesty with little sugar on top. You know why your silence doesn't touch her. Because in her mind, you were never real threat to leave. You were emotional furniture. Comfortable chair that doesn't move. You gave her full psychological safety that no matter how she acts, you will always be there, wagging metaphorical tail, ready to reply to hey at 2 a.m. like emergency service. In literature, there is beautiful example. In Anna Karenina, Anna is destroyed by absence of Vronsky, by his coldness, his distance. Why? Because his presence for her was powerful, risky, against rules. If he disappears, her whole world collapses. But look at her husband, Karenin. He is always there, always proper, always same. Does she lie in bed, crying at thought of losing him? Not really. His presence is stable, but also emotionally boring. His potential absence does not burn her soul. Many of you are playing Karenin when you secretly want to be Vronsky. Your absence doesn't bother her because your presence never created emotional tension, never demanded respect, never had weight. You were nice, reliable, maybe a little too reliable. She knew exactly what you feel, what you think, how you react. You were museum exhibit, not mystery novel. I tell you small story from my own circus life. Before I married my very comfortable husband with good bank account and better wine collection, I used to dance in club. One boy, about your age probably, started to come often. Sweet guy, big brown eyes, always tipping, always asking if I ate, if I got home safe. Very tender heart. He liked me. He thought I didn't know, but of course I knew. Women always know. He would text every morning, "Good morning, beautiful," like alarm clock. Every night, "Sleep well." Always available. If I answered late because I was tired or with some useless rich man, he would send follow-up. "Hope I didn't upset you. Did I say something wrong?" He tried absence strategy one time. For whole 2 days he didn't text. I didn't even notice. You know, when I realized he was gone. When he came back with "Sorry I disappeared, had crazy 2 days," I smiled, said, "It's okay." But in my head I thought, poor kitten, he really thinks his silence is big event. Why his absence had zero impact? Because he trained me perfectly. I knew he adored me. I knew he would never walk away. I knew even if I ignore him, he stays. So when he was not there, my brain did not panic. I didn't feel I might lose something valuable. I felt nothing, just more quiet. This is where most of you are. Not bad men, actually good hearts, but predictable, emotionally cheap, always on discount. So what must happen for your absence to actually bother her? You don't need to be rude, toxic, alpha male clown, but you must become man whose presence has quality, not just quantity. When you are there, you need to bring something that is not easily copied. Sharp mind, standards, boundaries, direction, emotional control. If she can replace you in 5 minutes with any guy from her inbox, why she must suffer when you vanish? Let's bring little Dostoevsky to table, because my soul needs it. In Crime and Punishment, when Raskolnikov pulls away from Sonia, her heart is breaking, but she doesn't chase him with 46 messages. His inner world is dark, difficult, unique. There is weight. His presence is intense. His absence is heavy. The point is not to become murderer with axe, please, we already have enough. The point is, depth creates impact. A shallow man who only offers flattery, memes, and constant attention is not missed. He is replaced. Right now, many young men confuse being nice with being valuable. You think, I text fast, I care, I show up. Why she doesn't respect that? Because caring without backbone, without self-respect, becomes like free sample in supermarket. People take, they enjoy, they forget. You want to be bottle of good wine, not plastic cup of free juice. I will say something slightly mean. If she is not bothered by your absence, it's often because your life without her doesn't look interesting. She does not feel competition with your mission, your growth, your time. She feels that she is your mission. And that is very unattractive, especially for young women with options. When she imagines you not texting, she doesn't think he is busy building empire, studying, training, improving himself, meeting important people. She imagines you sitting in dark room, playing games, checking her story, overthinking. And sadly she is often correct. Your absence is not powerful because it is empty. The magic happens when her picture of you starts to change. When she feels that your attention is not guaranteed. When your time becomes more selective. When you are not always available to handle her boredom. Not because you are doing fake ignore her to gain power game, but because you actually have full life. Your presence must start to feel like privilege, not basic human right. You think, but if I'm less available, she will forget me. Yes, maybe. But if she can forget you so easily, what exactly are you trying to save? Relationship? There is no relationship. You are just a free therapist with romantic feelings. There is something else. You men love to talk about high-value women, but forget that she is also quietly measuring your value. Is he man with boundaries? Does he say no sometimes? Does he call out disrespect calmly? Does he have standards for himself? Or is he like dog who still comes running even after you kick him 10 times? If it's second, she might enjoy attention, but she will never fear losing you. And if she doesn't fear losing you even a little, your absence will never sting. Fear of loss is powerful, but it must be based on reality. If every time you threaten to leave, you come crawling back after 2 days of weak silence, she files you in category, he will never really go. You have zero leverage. You became emotional background noise, not dangerous, not exciting, not respected. So what do you do now? You turn your absence into consequence, not performance. Consequence means, when she is disrespectful, plays games, ignores you for days, uses you only when lonely, you don't argue, you don't beg, you don't write essay. You simply step back and actually stay back. Not with drama, but with finality. You choose your dignity over attention. You don't punish her, you protect yourself. Your absence will only matter when it starts to matter to you first. If being away from her feels like death, you will crawl back. She will sense this. Women have radar for weakness powered by 1,000 years of evolution and bad marriages. If instead your solitude becomes laboratory where you build, grow, read, learn, train, your absence becomes fertile time, not empty space. From this place, when you pull away, your energy changes. You are calmer, less reactive, less begging. She feels that door is not as open as before. That is when mind games start inside her head, not yours. I will tell you one more story. Later, when I already met my husband, he did something very smart. In beginning, he was attentive, yes, but not obsessed. If I took long to answer, he didn't double text. If I cancelled, he did not move mountains to reschedule. He would say, okay, maybe another time, and then disappear into his business, his travels, his books. I realized very quickly, this man likes me, but his life does not depend on my mood swings. So when he was quiet, my brain actually noticed. I wondered, where is he? What he's doing? With who? My own feelings grew faster because I felt I could lose him if I treated him like option. That is healthy tension. Compare this to Sweet Club Boy. If he was quiet, my brain relaxed. Finally, silence. That is where you never want to be. Now, because I am bossy Russian auntie of your soul, of course I give homework. Tonight, take notebook, not phone, and write brutally honest description of yourself as lover or crush from her point of view. How does she see you? Not how you wish she sees you, how she truly does. Write it in her voice. He would never leave. He always answers. I can take long to reply, he's still there. He gets jealous but doesn't walk away. He forgives everything. Be mean but truthful with yourself. Then write second description, the man you want to become in her mind. He cares, but he has boundaries. He likes me, but he has life. If I disrespect him, I might lose him. When he's with me, he's present. When he's gone, he's occupied, not waiting. Keep this second version somewhere you see often. For next month, every time you act, ask which version you're feeding, old doormat or new man with spine. If you catch yourself sending 10th text, apologizing for existing, chasing when she clearly doesn't care, stop. Close chat. Go do one thing that makes second version more real. Gym, reading, studying, improving money, anything that builds your world beyond her. And one more small exercise for your nervous system. Every morning for 1 week, look in mirror and say, out loud, even if your accent is worse than mine, my presence is benefit. My absence is consequence. Say it until your body believes even a little, because until you feel that, no woman will. Your absence doesn't bother her yet, Malchik. But if you grow, if you build, if you learn to walk away with quiet dignity, one day it will. And maybe by then you will be man who no longer needs her to notice.